Ah. Foi mal. Deixa eu compartilhar a live rapidão. Boa noite. Salve. Vamos começar aqui. Não teve live por conta do... O problema é trazer não ia trazer o Gunslinger. Ia trazer um game clássico, mas por conta de um problema que eu tive com o emulador, eu não terminei trazendo foi nada. Beleza, mas vamos ver se a gente consegue finalizar aqui o Gunslinger hoje. Já que amanhã eu quero trazer outro game já pro canal. Com certeza amanhã eu vou trazer 2 lives. Com certeza essa palavra é muito forte pro meu momento. Mas vou tentar. Uma de tarde e uma de noite. Amanhã de tarde vai ser uma clássica. E à noite um game. Poxa. Salve, Val! Boa noite. Recordações ali, eu acho que é os capítulos que você jogou, né? Pode jogar de novo para poder pegar as pepitas. Esse game é muito foda, velho. Eu lembro que agora, não sei se é nesse capítulo, mas tem um capítulo que é no trem, que é frenético pra caralho. Tava olhando o detonado. Esse game são 7 capítulos. Estamos no 4º. E...
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. What the heck is happening? I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Essa parte aqui é do seu salão aqui. Caraca, mano, o sono ficou com sono. Pesado, hein? O sono fica com sono.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Mas hoje tá de boa hoje?
That's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
De cara não deixaram Primeiro não perder tempo não, vamos ver pra onde é a missão. Entre na taverna. É muito massa, Velho Oeste, velho. Esse clima, pá, show de bola.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood.
Muita gente morta, velho.
Hardin was waiting for me.
Hardin estava esperando por mim. Salve, mano, eu vou ficar aqui por aqui do serviço da correria. Beleza, Fábio, valeu. Hoje já dormi, acordei às 20. Ah, então tu vai me acompanhar até o final da live, velho.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch.
Deixa eu voltar e contar um pouco da história.
He deserves that much.
Ele merece, não.
Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
Só tem jogos mesmo. Ó.
Can't get a good shot in. Will somebody kill him?
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Tem uma espingarda aqui de cano cerrado, mas não vou usar não. Prefiro aqui, ó. Tá no final esse jogo, o próximo vai trazer qual? Então, esse jogo aqui são 7 capítulos, estamos no capítulo 4. Falta um pouquinho ainda, falta umas 2 horas e meia, 3 horas de gameplay. E o próximo que eu vou trazer, eu tô pensando em trazer o Injustice 1 e o 2. Depois trazer o Dead Rising. Eu vou ver ainda direitinho. Salve, maninho, suave, salve, Anderson. Boa noite, irmão. Tudo bom? Achei o filme que você falou, muito bom mesmo. Boa noite, Antônio. Qual foi o filme mesmo, meu irmão? Me lembra aí.
I'm gonna make you pay for that. Tell Hardin someone's coming for him. Stop that sumbitch! Let the boys know we got another law dog.
A trilha sonora é foda, velho. Trilha sonora do caralho, bicho. É o estilo mesmo do game que é pra se fuder, mano. De Bruce. Ah, sim, entendi. O último dragão, né? Ah, não.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Ei, meu cara tá tirando. A mão não pega. Recarrega rápido, garoto.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
A origem do dragão. Cadê o Alice Minecraft? É, o Alice não apareceu hoje não. Pelo menos por enquanto não, né? Não sei se ele vai aparecer. Ele queria ontem, mas ontem deu não. Infelizmente ontem eu não pude não fazer uma livezinha não pra vocês não. Foi foda ontem. O jogo que você falou também, muito bom. Qual foi o jogo?
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Vai lembrando aí, viu, Antônio? Não lembrado não. Vamos lá, vamos brincar de acertar tiro, cara. Porra, tá Qual foi o jogo mesmo, Antônio? Me lembro, eu tô esquecido, mano. Eu falo de tanto jogo, de tanta coisa na live, eu tô esquecido. Tem mais, né? Só tem mais um ali atrás. Oxe, que tiro que eu dei.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Tô pegando, por que eu não tô pegando? Ele já tá cheio. Livre-se dos bandidos na cidade, vamos lá.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Opa, daqui rapidão. Arma lendária desbloqueada.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility. I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived. As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Nem aí pros canais de gameplay, né, mano? Infelizmente, eles fazem pouco caso, é verdade. Lip Dog tá fazendo na live. Sim, Lip Dog é muito bom. Assim, eu só trago o jogo pro canal que eu acho que é bom, o jogo que eu nunca joguei, velho. Jogo que eu acho lixo, vai vender o metal traseiro, você matou os 15 anos, matou um por roncar e outros 40 por respirar. Que estudo é esse? Parece que é da Ubisoft.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. But maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Tem uns carinhas depois lá na frente aqui pra matar, velho. É tenso. Ah, não, velho. Esqueci qual botão que aperta.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Claro que ele não acertou, porra. Tu tá aí vivo.
man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
Oxi, meu irmão. Que parada, mamão. Não matei não, cara não, ó. Rapaz. Deixa eu dar uma conferida aqui no estudo desse game.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, do you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Ubisoft. Isso mesmo. Confirmei aqui.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also
essa parte
his
agora, se eu não me
primary
engano, é
motivation.
dos índios, velho. É massa, velho. Ah, é os índios. De pele vermelha. Muito foda, mano. Puta que pariu. Esse Velho Oeste não tem essas paradas, mano. Nem é Velho Oeste. De pele vermelha. Os índios. Original, né? Da história. Vamos lá.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
Fundilhos do paraíso. Há muito tempo atrás, montanhas muito distantes, far away.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his
Tem o
people.
dever de passar aqui e deixar aquele like para meu amigão. Deus abençoe, meu amigo. Que venha logo 1K e 1 milhão. Valeu, Diego, meu mano.
The U.S.
Muito
Army
obrigado aí
had
pela
attacked
moral,
his
hein?
tribe during
Valeu
his
mesmo.
daughter's sacred sunrise
Tá ligado,
ceremony,
né?
and the
Muito obrigado
slaughter
aí
was
por tudo, cara.
unspeakable.
Tenho muito a agradecer
I
a
understood
vocês.
his anger,
Vocês me
as there's
ajudam
nothing
demais.
more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Daqui a pouco começa os índios a aparecer aí, o cara meter chuva nesses putos.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them.
Porra, que mentira do caralho, velho. Que veio da parada, né? Mentirão.
They saw me before I saw them. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Olha aí, ó, o garoto Minecraft. Salve, Ellison. Garoto Minecraft apareceu. Aí, ó, garoto do Lego. Eu nunca vi um rapaz tão feliz por falar em Minecraft na minha vida feito esse Ellison. O cara é um monstro do Minecraft. Conhece todo o segredo, sabe?
They saw me before I saw them.
devagarzinho, velho. Se eu meter a cara eu vou morrer porque é muito inimigo nessa parte, eu lembro. Tem muito índio. Isso é um emo mesmo, esse Alice, velho. Puta que hoje, não notificou os vídeos de canais, vim pelo grupo. Porra, menos mal, né, velho? O YouTube é foda, pô. Por isso que a galera tá abandonando. Vocês perceberam, os youtubers grandes, eles estão abandonando a plataforma de live. Tem uma plataforma aí que o Victor Crest está usando agora, que ela é Android, aí ela tem pra celular. Eu não sei como vocês assistem as lives.
It was rugged
pelo
country,
celular, ela é pra celular.
the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Mas pra quem assiste em PC, velho, tem que instalar o sistema operacional Android e tal, aí eu não acho muito viável. Principalmente pra quem tiver um PC fraquinho. Então eu tudo.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Ai! Outra coisa, pô, eu sempre digo nos vídeos é que, porra, velho, se quer continuar acompanhando as lives, não vocês, né, que vocês eu sei, mas os novatos, se quiser continuar acompanhando as lives, tem que deixar o like, velho, senão o YouTube entende que não quer, o YouTube entende que não quer assistir, entendeu? Baralho.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Pra quem gosta de série, vou indicar uma série aí que eu tô assistindo. Pelo menos agora, até agora ela é foda.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so
Até
much
agora
as
que eu digo momento
pure
que eu tô
angry
assistindo.
cussedness.
Black Sails, velho. De pirata. Que série, mano. Que série. Pense, série foda. Vamos lá, investigar as cavernas. Tem que pular, é? Porra, essa maré. Para de mim. Cadê? Caminho.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Por aqui, né? É, ainda tem um cadáver ali. Por ali.
Was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
Vamos lá. Pistolinha. Fúria de gelar causar mais dano durante a concentração. O negócio é por ali, ó.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
Eu tô em modo concentração, ainda assim me fudi, véi.
As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow, the eye had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Bora, meu filho. Opa, que solta.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river.
Pulei, mas não pegou não. Bichar youtuber gamer. Gostei desse app relacionado só a gamer. Mas... instalam. Não, pô, o aplicativo que ele usa não é esse não. É outro. Falando verdade, né? O youtuber gamer é outra coisa, né?
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me.
Cadeira, minha mensagem não tá chegando, tá tudo bugado. É por isso que a turma tá saindo do YouTube. O YouTube tá foda. Eu atualizo as mensagens somente do chat. Agora essa morte aí, ridícula.
There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Na hora errada. Mas... vamos economizar essas balas aqui, vou dar essa. Caraca, nem percebi que o Juarez Minecraft tava aqui. Aí sim, kaká. Aí, pô. Aí tá chegando agora, velho. Finalmente. Indignado, mano.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100
Eu acho
Apache
que o som do jogo tá
warriors.
pouco alto, mano. Dá uma baixada leve aí, só um pouquinho. Pera aí, vou baixar agora. Vê aí se melhorou.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them. And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me.
Porra, achei. Kiri. Aí, ó. Achei porra nenhuma, velho. Tô bem pra caralho, hein. Achei um caminho aqui, pelo menos isso. Tava falando seu amigo. Na quinta só ficou sozinho na live, aí nós falamos, caraca, agora você traiu a gente, hoje nem entrou. Agora assistiu. Ops, Ellison, tô aqui, cara. Até te mandei salve. Tô falando na quinta, tem uns 10 minutos que cheguei, mas tá tudo bugado. Ah tá, na quinta eu não estava.
But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Inimigos mortos 97. Porra, boy. Fugiu, velho. Pelo menos ele não tá só contando vantagem nas histórias dele, né? Silas. Acredito que essa missão agora é a do trem, velho.
Thank you,
Essa trem é
darling.
muito massa.
It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to
Eles
exaggerate.
costumam exagerar.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Dalton Brothers.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up
Na
arms
quinta
that
passei o
day.
dia jogando Minecraft e
Fighting
picando
on
de
the
Lego.
side of right.
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Pablo até ia colocar Minecraft pra ver se te atraia. Rapaz, o pior que é mesmo. Eu vou botar Minecraft aqui pra ver se chama Alice. O Minecraft é um Lego. Lego eu tenho. Lego eu tenho. Ganhei os jogos aí da Gold de Minecraft. Ou Lego. Aí eu tenho.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition.
Aqui, ó, aumenta a barra de concentração. Aí, filé, papai.
Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, you'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Poxa, é.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off.
Ah, isso é do assalto, essa missão é
Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeyville, so everybody knew them. The bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30.
A Pepe tá perto de você. Fechou o rabo, porra. O negócio vem avisar agora. Aperta onde, baralho? Ah, é por aqui, ó. Sabe que eu chego aqui a alarma? Porra nenhuma, rapaz. Tem caralho nenhum aqui. Tá bugado, é? Tá bugado essa porra. Vamos pra cá, vai alarmar de novo. Olha. Ah, mas tá com putaria, só pode ser. Tá com putaria, é? Mata o rabo. Porra nenhuma aqui nesse caralho.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Não, amanhã com certeza eu trago uma live. Não vou beber amanhã não.
First of all,
se não me engano, tem pra PS3 e também se eu zerei esse jogo pela primeira vez no PS3.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta figure some bitches out.
But this bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there.
Caralho. Véi, quando eu vou olhar não tem mais nenhuma. Porra é essa? Puta, velho. Fiz umas obras aqui em casa, tomara que esses porra termine, diminua, né? Termina não, que não acaba nunca, são as pragas. Diminua.
A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
Capturar os irmãos vivos. Vai beber amanhã não. O Brasil é em crise por causa de álcool. Aí vem esse cara que fala que amanhã não vai beber. Assim o Brasil vai acabar de beber sem nenhum álcool. É verdade. Estudos é Ubisoft exato. Ubisoft Estudos.
It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Vou ter que pular, né? Chegou um tempo que eu achava a produtora Ubisoft tá melhor, velho. Moral. Tem que adentrar no banco. Poxa, o cara como morreu. Posição pai de família, velho.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Eu tava com fome já na ilha.
Rule the day.
Overshot. A pepita. Agora tá certo, moço.
Over there.
Paulo Manguaça, esse aí daí tem cara que gosta de uma cachaçinha. A cara dele não nega. Isso aí tem uma pinga com rapadura. Porra, vocês ficaram me distraindo aí, caralho. Toma aí, pô.
That's Silas Greaves. What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving dolphins.
Capture os...
His name was Silas Greaves.
E quando a poeira baixou, ele era um sobrevivente.
He was the last man
Deve
standing.
adorar pitu. Rapaz, já bebi tanto pitu, rapaz. Já bebi tanto.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way
Sai
it
dessa vida.
happened.
Isso é quando eu era liso, porra. Agora que eu tô menos liso, eu bebo...
It was
vodka.
early evening, not high noon.
Vai até o banco e peça a fuga dos irmãos. Puta, ele já tá
Daltons
já tá
blew up
contando
a
a história
safe,
puta perspectiva.
and we're all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Bob, o amante, o perdedor, o líder. Emmett e Gret.
I'd been tracking those jokers
que
for
espalhasse
months,
por meses,
waiting for them to do something
esperando.
reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville.
voz, ó.
Don't waste your bullet. Go ahead. You can't get me.
Chupou, hein?
What are you gonna do?
Detém os irmãos. Não vai dar não pra deter os irmãos, não. Eles vão fugir.
Hey, we got it to eat. What's in them?
And those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. The problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in
Também já vi
Kansas
muito da minha
caught
vida,
fire
tem
all at
tantas
once.
histórias, mas depois que a idade vai passando, vem a família, você quer moderar. Não dá pra levar a mesma vida sempre, é verdade. Graças a Deus que eu só tomo leite. Esse negócio de eu só tomar leite ficou meio estranho, hein?
There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Pra seguir. Porra, caralho. Eu acho que é naquela sala mesmo. Cadê a porra da bebida, caralho? Ah, não creio, velho, que me enganaram. Porra, cadê essa caralho? Merda mesmo, será que é embaixo? Aí quando chega aqui, aquele alarma. Isso é embaixo. Peguei as três, hein? Tree History. O cara ganha troféu. Só toma leite de vaca e não de touro. Toma leite da burra, igual Chaves. Cara é foda.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up.
Porra.
Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Toma nesse... Me matou, meu irmão. Mano, queria ter uma fazenda, pois de manhãzinha só era teu leite na teta. Ei, irmão, vou morrer de novo, velho. Chupa, caralho. Desvio dos troncos. Oxi, que porra é essa? Bora, menino. Pra cá não, é porra. Pra onde?
It was him, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
It's all killing time. Send you to the bone orchard. Next time I won't miss.
Se eu ficar vivo. Toma.
Não!
Porra! Caralho, velho.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
Tu gosta de ver leitinho quente, feito na hora, né, safadinho?
But I have to admit,
Depende ele tá se referindo pra ver
that
se ele
boy
só vai
had
de
grit.
Cleiton com café. De vácuo, é. E qual mais seria? Rapaz, esses caras tá com muita maldade em suas vossas mentes. É uma greia esses meninos. Mas a Muriçoca tá botando pra gerar em mim aqui. Elas estão bebendo é sangue quente, feito na hora. Putz. Ai, ai, vamos lá. Próxima missão.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Da lista dos Congos, não me interessa aqui. Pilhas de minha vista inimiga, não quero saber isso aqui também. Cara, deixa eu só conferir um aqui. Recarga sua arma iniciando. Ah, certo. Transferir combos em concentração. Beleza, vou começar a upar aqui agora. Isso aqui, ó. Aumenta a velocidade de recarregamento pressionando o botão. Arma lendária, desbloquear a Centela do Caos. Mira mais rápida, mira de pessoal, velocidade de mira, qualquer arma aumenta 30%. Granadeira, arremessa de milita, tiro nela. Dividindo essa aqui é uma bosta. Caçador de cabeça, mais caçado por tiro na cabeça. Olho que tu vê, aponta inimigos fora do seu campo de visão. Carrasco, executa os inimigos próximos, acerteiros na cabeça e mirar. Aperta. Oh, esse aqui é bom, viu? Mas palpar. Tem que ganhar mais 4 níveis. Pronto, o próximo é esse. Vou upar, vamos ver aqui. Caçador corpo a corpo. Aumentar a ganha armadura de guerreiro. Sem desperdício. Armas fluminenses de caçador recanha mais uma espingarda. Contra-ataque depois de usar o pressentimento. Ah, sim, o pressentimento. Os da morte.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Melhor deixar esse lance de leite pra lá, essa conversa tá meio estranha já. Cabra pode ser, mas cabra fêmea. Vamos falar de jogo, é melhor. Falar de videogame, falar de filme. Tô ligado que missão é no pântano nessa missão aqui.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Plant them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Cara, eu deitado aqui, porra. Vai. Cara, ele não morreu.
I can kill you with either hand.
No olho.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
You ain't seen the rest. I'm gonna blow you into next week, boy.
Oxi, que porra, foi. Falta muito pro final da live, minha esposa chegou, vou ter que ajudar ela a botar as crianças para dormir. Porra, bicho, falta ainda umas 2 horas, viu se Alisson? Pô, os caras não estão focando mais em jogos assim, em primeira pessoa. Será que é por falta de criatividade no personagem, tipo customização? Sabe o que é, pô? É o sucesso, meu irmão. Call of Duty e COD. Oh, Call of Duty e BF. É dinheiro, mano. Esses jogos são rios de dinheiro. Hoje em dia você vê um jogo hack and slash de qualidade, velho. É difícil, mano. Porra, meu irmão, tava longe, bicho, né? Me matou. Taria do caralho. Vou deixar a live aberta aqui, mas não vou estar na frente do PC. Se eu voltar a tempo, eu aviso aqui. Beleza, Alice? Vai lá mesmo. Valeu aí pela presença, caso você não volte. Boa noite. Eu vi um anúncio, eu vi que tá um rumor aí de Devil May Cry 5, né, velho? Espero que realmente seja. Devil May Cry é um RPG, um hack and slash de qualidade. Vou brincar com esse escudo mais, não fazer. Bota aí na cabeça. Toma.
Time to fill you full of lead. Rule the day.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Shoot that asshole!
Point being, I was under serious attack.
Belly full of buckshot. Now you're in.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Meu recurso não tava em canto nenhum. Filha da puta, velho.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Porra, bug soft.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention.
É foda.
Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
Oh, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
Porra, é isso aí.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Por aqui, ó, as bandeirinhas estiadas, vermelha, lentos.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
pariu, velho. Porra, eu me arreto quando eu morro assim, vacilo, mano.
Stop that, son of a
Puta merda.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch!
Porra! Um hard, hein? Ah, delícia. Um hard é uma delícia. É doido.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! Thank you! Somebody kill him! Let's see if that chicken...
Cadeira, porra. Bombado aí. Oh, tô sem munição já, velho.
Oh, he's hurt now! Show him how to die!
Porra, não matei nenhum, velho.
Yeah, you can't beat me.
Ai, toma, ele tá acabando, o cara tirou, atravessou a parede e me matou. Ai, caralho. Tira, pô, tira. Quer também?
I'm ending you.
Ammunition.
Catch him in the crossfire. Kill him already.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat? In a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern-wheeler or a side-wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board.
Pablo, compensa pegar um Xbox agora, quase no final dessa geração, ou é melhor esperar para sair um novo Xbox e esses atuais baixar? O foda é que não novo, que no novo certeza que vai pegar essa geração. Rapaz, eu duvido que a Sony pretenda fazer isso, mas vamos lá. Essa geração ela começou em 2013, correto? Ela, como você disse, né, final de geração, mas tava lendo uma reportagem que a Sony só pretende lançar um novo PlayStation só em 2020 a 2021. Ou seja, tem aí 2 anos ainda de lenha para queimar, velho, com o aparelho dessa geração. Sobre rodar esses jogos dessa geração, eu acredito que o Xbox continue com a retrocompatibilidade e vai continuar funcionando todos os jogos dessa geração como da geração anterior. Se vale a pena, meu irmão, sinceramente, velho. Porra, se você já tem um PS4, mano, a não ser que você goste de jogar jogos assim retrocompatíveis, né? Feito isso aí. Esse jogo aí ele é retrocompatível. Eu tô jogando ele via retrocompatibilidade do 360 no Xbox One. Aí compensa, velho. Mas, porra, mano, eu esperava mais um pouco. Tu tem PS4, gosta de jogar multiplataforma tem pros dois, então.
It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Put a bullet in.
Gosto dos exclusivos do Xbox One. No 360 eu tinha todos os exclusivos. Aí ruim jogar ele e ter a pontuação do Xbox One, não. Se você gosta, velho, aconselho que pegue, velho. Se você tiver com paciência, recomendo que você espere mais um pouquinho aí.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
I'm just getting started.
Cara. Deve estar em cima. Não tem nada ali.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something, I'd do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Aí, boa. Na face shot.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
Cocó pra ele, ó. Vacilas.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Did you hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway...
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Grease?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Não me lembro como eu vi essa parte. Essa parte é foda, velho. Puta que pariu, essa metralhadora é uma bosta. E a parte dos inimigos são a caralho, somente. Tá dando overhit.
To come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
Jonas!
Side by
Nossa,
side,
irmão, beleza, beleza, salve, Jonas. Agora tá no final, tá nada. Eita, caralho. Toda vez, meu irmão. Puta que pariu, 2 é foda, mano. Deve tirar onda. É o que eu tô tentando fazer, né, velho? Mas esse modo aqui é foda, porra. Calma aí. Porra, velho. Caralho, essa aqui é chata mesmo, matar 2 pra se fuder, mano. Ih, filho. Fica andando sozinha, mira, meu. Esse enganado tem que pelo menos soubesse que Emmett tava.
If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day.
Matei a galera.
And the tragic death of his 2 brothers.
Opa. Salve, mano! Vou ficar só um pouco na live, depois vou dormir, mas já deixei o like, valeu! Manuel as lives. Como é que tá? E a perna? Tirou o gesso já?
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
The Wild Bunch.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the 3 of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Butch Cassidy e Sandeskid, o bando selvagem era o bando de fora da lei mais famoso do Oeste.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. led by Butch Cassidy. They were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
From blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Suba no trem.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
God damn you!
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
You're really pissing me off!
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights, but I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway, so I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Son of a bitch!
E agora, aqui não vai.
At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Vivo, velho. Bora, filho. Aqui abriu a porta agora, vai tomar não. Tem uma pepita, sai da frente, porra. O marido tá na frente. Jogo bom, me lembra Call of Duty 3.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? Take cover! Retreat!
Puta que pariu, véi. Merda, hein? Marinho, que merda, hein? De Marinho,
Who the hell is that? He's out of here! You won't go like this! Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody! You calm down the thunder. He'll kill us all!
Essa porra era minha vida, velho. Por ter metido o tempo de bala e pra cá.
I'm gonna cut you in two.
Do lado errado. Caralho, eu tô passando vergonha, hein? Parte fácil dessa, mano.
Hell's a coming. God damn it!
O cara apareceu do nada ali. O cara fugiu.
Still standing. Still standing.
Cai sem querer aqui. Cadê essa porra dessa fita do baralho?
You know you can't beat me.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left, and I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Velho, caralho.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Rápido isso aí, viu? Não tô mais apontando. Não estou mais apontando. Vou me despedir aqui. Amanhã eu deixo o resto de hoje. Boa noite, mano. Ótima live. Seu canal merece o sucesso. Ainda chegamos lá. Fique com Deus. Fui. Valeu aí, Val. Boa noite, irmão. Tá foda aí o sono, né? Deixa de comentar, meu velho. Deve tá com sono da porra. Mas beleza, tranquilo. Amanhã tamo junto aí de novo. Vou fazer 2 lives amanhã, tá? Uma de tarde e uma à noite. Continuando aí. Amanhã eu vou trazer um Injustice. Trazer um Injusticezinho pra gente brincar.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamp for South America.
3:30 para 4 horas, velho. Finalzinho da tarde, assim. O jogo de amanhã da tarde eu não sei qual é ainda.
Many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Essa missão do trem eu acho legal pra caralho ela, velho. Silas Graves alega que sua busca em Safu Bob Bryant forçou os dois do bando selvagem a fugirem. Tô perto do fim já. E à noite, mesmo horário. Amanhã à noite eu vou fazer um pouco mais cedo, Val. Pra gente fazer uma live um pouco maior, umas 9 horas e tal.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail and now he was running the whole shebang.
Desse jogo, velho, é muito foda, velho. Você pelo menos assiste o final. Se você tá entendendo a história, né? Aí, esse cara, o personagem principal, o Silas, ele tá atrás de um cara. Assiste o final, que o final é surpreendente, velho. Você fica, porra, velho. Foda, velho.
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
We're under fire!
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
I've had about enough. I'm ending you.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Tá cheio de explosivo aqui.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific.
Achou o plano.
The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Igual eu morri agora. Massa.
Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
What the hell?
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Foda dessa arma, hein? É rápido pra caralho, velho.
This asshole has a death grip.
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear. Proceeded onward. I realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Tem uma pepita aqui. Cadê? Achei. Não. Isso é aqui em cima. Embaixo não, Alves. Tem uma escada aqui, né? Tem escada. Em cima, papai. Agora aonde? Mais em cima. Pra ali, eu vou ter que voltar, velho. Acho que não tem nem caminho pra lá. E agora, José? Desce aí. Vem pra cá. Foda-se a pepita.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long, burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Ow.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
Onde é que tá a pepita? Tomando fora. É bicho, tá que eu não vou mais lá. Foda-se. O caminho onde é que é? Arribas. Vamos subir.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore. Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
É muito inimigo aqui, velho. Era pra ter que estar tempo de bala. Caralho. Caralho. Aqui de lado mesmo. Fila da puta, velho. Ah, meteu tudo errado, velho. É muito bom. Vamos lá, vamos sem errar, sem errar.
This some bitch. Shoot that asshole!
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Você acredita em fantasmas?
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
That smells like a kill you. Do you know who I am? Are you kidding me? I think he's scared. You can't beat me. Time for you to lay down and die. You can't hide forever.
Puta que mentira do caralho, pô. Explodiu na minha face.
Do you know who I am? It's not fair. You can't beat me. Shit. What are you, Yella? Are you kidding me? Time for you to lay down and die. God damn it, I need some help here! Leave him to me! Come on, boys! Take this sumbitch out! Act up! That's... That smells like a kill you! Damn! This is the last mistake you'll ever make! Get out of here, you coward! Do you know who I am? Shit! Hold it off while I reload! It's not fair! You can't beat me! Ah! Get out of here! Time for you to lay down and die! Are you kidding me? Shit! I gotta reload? That smells like a kill you! Take this cocksucker! Move it, boys! This is the last mistake you'll ever make! Do you know who I am? You can't beat me! Yeah! Guess you had enough, huh?
Like e um grande abraço. Valeu, Juliano.
Time for you to lay down and die! Stupid contraption! Ah! That smells like a kill you! It's not fair! What are you, Yella? This is the last mistake you'll ever make!
Porra,
acredito nisso, mano do céu, não acredito. Vacilei, porra, era pra ter ficado atrás da pedra, meu irmão. Olha, apelou valendo agora. Caralho.
Hold it off while I reload. It's not fair. That smells like a killing. Damn! You know who needs some help here? Come on, boys, take this son-of-a-bitch out. How is that possible? Show yourself, you coward! That's the last mistake you'll ever make. Am I out of bullets already? Shit! Time for you to lay down and die. Ah! You can't beat me! Are you kidding me? That smells like a killing. Like this cocksucker. Move it, boys! You know who I am? It's the last mistake you'll ever make. It's not fair. Cut you a new one. Beat fat bastard. This is gonna give me a hand here, goddammit. You're gonna bleed. Time for you to
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Finalmente. Porra. Duelo, vamos embora, puto. Fudei.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Aí, puto. Morre. Aaron.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Você nunca vai achar ele. Tiro na cabeça, velho.
Those were his last words.
Foram suas últimas palavras. Foi bom, foi bom.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Jess and James são 2. São 7 capítulos, não, são 8 ou mais, né? A Morte Calvaga, um Garanhão de Aço. De acordo com as civilizações de seus irmãos, roubou trens com Jess. Belezinha, belezinha. Vamos continuando.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this gem.
You know who we are?
Ah, parece que ele é blindado, é?
How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Oxê. Voltou tudo. Diz a lenda. Parava o trem. Só deu hora pra ele. Jesse James.
They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Pega logo aqui essa parada. Completar aqui embaixo. Fundição dourada. Perseverança. Face shot.
It was a rickety ride and quite precarious.
Mas é quando eu morro, ele muda a frase dele, velho.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks and been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Ah, caralho. Bugou, foi? Será? Aí não pulou. Ah, velho. Será que vai por aqui? Foda-se.
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the bar.
But you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
Porra, velho. Caralho, que mal da porra, velho.
At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
It's the damn Pinkertons!
Now, I never worked for that lightning cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins.
Puta que pariu, mano. Caralho. Tá no final essa porra. Vamos lá, essa porra aqui não abre não, né? Não abre.
He's hurt now! Shoot that stupid son of a bitch!
Eita caralho, véi. Tomar no cu, jogar uma bomba ali, doido. Matar de um lado, matar do outro.
Just shoot him for Christ's sake! We know where you're hiding!
Ah, não dá pra ser mais não, né?
Kill that cocksucker!
Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
You can't fight James, gang! I will kill you!
Vai? Quer me matar ele, ó.
came across a flat car piled high with logs. I had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever gonna find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Porra! Minha vida foi-se embora, velho. Essa parte aí que o cara morre, velho. Ai, cara, vem cá, vem. Aí, tem um monte aqui. Matar um mói. Morre. Opa.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
I gotta reload. I'm putting you down.
Porra, véi. Brincadeira aí, viu? 2 tiros que eu levei do... Caralho. Eita por pé. Vai dar não? Bota. Caralho. Aí de novo, velho.
you know you can't. Is that silent scream? Oh, that asshole just killed Red.
Bora, rapaz. Eita, os caras vêm pra cima, o cara se fode.
Son of a bitch!
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Now you're really pissing me off!
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
Vamos lá,
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
Puta que pariu, velho. Que mira horrível. Horrível. Você pode estar 100%. Pra mirar é ruim demais. Aí, mirar é foda aqui. Ele tá parado. Mas se ele estivesse se mexendo. Vou morrer, velho. Puxei a arma primeiro que ele. Se eu matasse ele aí agora, fodeu. Eu ia perder. Você concentrou 85%, que é um lixo. velho. É muito ruim, porra. Oxi. Bora lá, mais uma vez, calma. Calma, bota aqui. Era primeiro que ele, não adianta nada. Pô, vai chegando assim no desafio final, é foda.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Com honra, cara. O negócio é esse, matar a galera com honra. Perdão, Jesse, você nadinha por Robert Ford e restante seu bando junto a Frank, seu irmão não tão famoso. Patrulha tira devagar, mas causa muito dano. Tire proveito disso.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Tá com uma porra, tem quantos aí? 5? Tiro só, caralho.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul.
Fiz uma coisa aqui rapidinho. É, tá parecendo que essa é a última missão. Bora lá fazer logo. Terminar esse game. O negócio é não morrer, meu.
Now, where was I? Indians, right? I had more than my share of run-ins with the red man. Like that time. Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men. Will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Brincadeira não.
Did you ever find him? Who? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Graves, are you all right?
Aqui, ó, tem uma que eu quero comprar aqui tem um tempo já, que é essa daqui, ó. Armadura.
Ooh, dear. Ooh, dear. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death. Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son of a bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Afetado ele, velho. Frank James.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close. I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Porra! Vou ligar aí nessa parte.
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
Come here! This is gonna hurt! You're gonna bleed! Want that bastard dead! Come on!
That old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Não morreu não.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life! Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will! At this point, I just don't give a shit!
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him! I never did like that bastard! I am done here!
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts.
What the hell? Hey, boy!
As I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again. Rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him? Cover me! I don't think he knows who we are.
Deu uma caidinha aqui no OBS. Na internet também.
Eventually, it was just me and Reed. I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Caralho. Foda, né, velho? Ah não, meu filho.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Porra, velho, é muito rápido, bicho. Muito rápido. Tu é doido, é? É rápido demais, velho. É chato demais isso, velho. Aí toma no tua. Olha. Essa foi a pior, mano. Se eu não tiver com velocidade, foco. Fudeu. Acho que eu vou apelar nessa aqui, velho. Apelar, tá tendo condições não, pô.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Tomar no rabo. Porra, 60%, meu irmão. E o cara roubou desse jeito, vai. A moral mesmo, tá roubando demais, pô. Tá roubado demais, pô. Tá roubado, muito roubado. Roubado não é pouco, roubado é muito roubado, ó. Vem pra cá, meu filho, pra cá. É muito chato isso aí. Tu é doido, né? 40%. Vai tomar no cu. Oxe, eu vou meter bala nesse puto agora. Porra nenhuma, velho. Eu consigo, eu morro. Tem que estar com mais 50% aqui, velho, de velocidade.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
O cara tem que olhar pra cá, pra lá e pro cara. Brincadeira, porra. Brincadeira, isso é que é foda, mano. Como é que eu tenho? Eu não tenho 3 olhos não, meu filho. Eu não tenho 3 olhos não. Ó aí. Eu tenho 3 olhos, velho. É muito pouco. Isso é muito pouco. Tem que ser 60% pra lá. Tem que ser uns 70% de velocidade. Pra ter um mínimo de reação. Covarde que eu tenho que esperar o cara puxar a arma primeiro. Aí, demo, velho. Meu filho aqui, ó, meu filho. Na moral, desisto, velho. Desisto. Não vou fazer isso não. Depois em off eu faço. Meto puxar logo, meto um bala nele, mato logo, acabou.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers. And repay him I did.
Right, filhos. Pô, um off, se eu quiser depois, eu tenho. Se quiser, foda-se. Vamos me ocupar lá. Acabou não, hein? Tem mais. Detonado aqui tinha mais.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him. Six months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
aqui.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant. That son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
But for all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead. Stop me from taking his life. I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had. Catch this, son of a bitch!
We've got company!
But you obviously prevailed since you said you had potato.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Morri, feio.
Because when I woke up...
From the dead?
There was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, there, even over there.
So I am right. You are titched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition.
Cemitério fantasma, tá parte aqui é daqui pra caralho.
I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered him.
Caralho, mas é foda, velho. Não tá funcionando. Tá filmado,
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun.
Porra, 12, velho. Tá chegando sono, mano.
Ghost Army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Bota aí. E o cara morreu, o cara bota. Bota aí. A dificuldade dessa parte é essa.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought?
Acaba não, é caralho.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
Se voltar tudo de novo, ficar muito puto, viu, meu irmão? Cara, se for todinho pra ser fuder um cara só, é foda, porra.
heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Caralho, missão, hein? Butch Cassidy.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Eita, cara, é contra o outro aí.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you. You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life? You frittered it all away, Butch. Edda's mine. And so is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Porra, nem eu quero saber se é sem honra. Ponto final.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh, man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
You can't, Bob. Redenção ou vingança? Escolha seu destino. Vamos de vingança, né? Redenção uma porra, vou deixar tu vivo não. Tu vai morrer. Caralho. Arrombado.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
Holy shit!
Dwight, Molly, move against that wall. Go!
My God! Oh, Jesus!
Morreu. Pronto, galera. Esse é um dos finais, né? Tem um final que você...
Did you know it was him all
perdoa ele.
along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Graves.
So where are you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
See, that's Carro of Juarez, Gunslinger. That's how it was. Deixa eu ver se dá pra gente fazer outro final aqui. Não sei se a gente consegue. Acredito que não. Mas pode tentar, né? Download aqui nas recomendações. Aqui jogo mais disponível. Comecei a história novamente com as habilidades e armas que já desenvolvi agora em dificuldade veterano oeste. Já disponível para implementação da história no mínimo. Uma de tela e dificuldade elevada para uma verdadeira experiência do Velho Oeste. Não sei se vai ser dali, velho.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found.
Ih, velho. Pelo visto eu não vou não, vai jogar de novo nada, tá doido. Bom, galera, é isso aí. Muito obrigado a todos que acompanharam a live até aqui. Desde já agradeço. Amanhã estamos aí de novo com mais duas lives, se Deus quiser. Só tenho a agradecer a vocês, beleza? 3 horas e 40 minutos de live. Muito obrigado a todos mesmo. Amanhã estamos aí. Não se esqueça de deixar um like para valorizar o vídeo e o canal. Na descrição do vídeo tá aí o grupo do WhatsApp, do Facebook e a descrição de todos os games que já passaram aqui pelo canal, beleza? Bom, galera, é isso aí. Mais um jogo aqui terminado com sucesso. Boa noite e até amanhã com Injustice. Falou!